Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, 20 minutes to talk. Let's get it quick. Therapy session. You know me, I love having therapy sessions that can last long and all that, but my phone is just, it's time for an upgrade, and T-Mobile is making sure that I know it. I just got to create space somehow. I don't know, viruses in there. I told you guys a million times, but I'm going to make a therapy session. I feel good. Been kind of working on a playlist today, finished it up, some African music that was pretty great, I guess you could say. The music was fantastic in that genre and has been, so I encourage everybody to check out the Afrobeats genre, just modern modern music right now, and from that region of the world has been really solid from what I've been hearing. You know, a friend of mine just told me about myself. That's the reality of it. I'm absorbing just certain things that you do in the past that you don't know you do that impact others, that doesn't sit right with the character that you want to reflect. But it speaks to just how far I've come spiritually from that space, and how I've grown as well. You know, things that I did very selfishly, things that I did that showed a lack of cognizance for what has been blessed in my life. When something that came my way, I could have broken bread. I pride myself on being somebody who gives more, but when you look at the history of myself, I haven't given as much as I should have. And so it's one of those situations where it's like, sometimes if your ego can accept it, a good lashing of the tongue from somebody that loves you, who knows you, and can tell you about yourself, can really be rewarding. Because that's what just happened to me. She just told me about some things that I didn't remember I had done that impacted her in a way that she didn't appreciate. And it just spoke to things about myself that I still have to overcome. And that's what I come to you guys and say. You know, I'm 39 years old, and I'm still working through some very strong growth spaces. I'm trying to get to a place in my life where I can reflect much more positively, and I'm not there yet. And it has nothing to do with my finances, has nothing to do with my living situation, has nothing to do with what happened to me as a child, or none of that. I just have to grow up and work on some things that would ultimately allow for the things that I do to impact others in a way that I can respect when seeing those traits in others. So, you know, that's what it is. If someone tells you that you didn't give when you should have, or didn't extend when they had extended to you, things that speak to the ungrateful spirit that you don't believe is there within yourself. And what makes it even worse is when you don't remember doing those things. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't remember doing that, but I'm not going to rebuke it. And it wasn't anything big that she said that I did. It was that, you know, she was helping me move once, and it was a cleaner, some type of spray cleaner, that she asked me if she could have. No, not a cleaner. It was like a scrubber. I'm telling you, I don't remember. But it was a scrubber that she asked me if she could take, and I told her that she could have it, and then changed my mind and told her that I could probably use it in my new place. Just some real snotty stuff that I don't remember doing. But like, she had helped me all week long moving. I'm like, yo, did I really do that? She says I did. Damn it, it had to have happened. I'm not gonna even question it, but I'm telling y'all, it's possible that happened, but it's also possible that I didn't look at it as anything at all. And that's how it usually goes when people do stuff that impacts people in ways that are so negative. It usually does not register in your mind. I've seen that when I've been holding other people accountable. It's like, you did that back in such and such and such a year. They're like, bro, I don't even remember doing that. And you held on to it that long? It's that kind of thing. And it's like, I think, from a spiritual standpoint, I just think that that's the evil of the circumstance, is that the most impactful stuff that you do, you don't even think about. Or the stuff that impacts people the most and has them thinking about stuff all day long, are the things that ultimately we don't even really look at. And so it's like, yo, I'm going to be a lot more cognizant of what those things are. I want to be a lot more savvy in regards to being intelligent in the ways that what I do impacts others. And I'm far away from that. And I think my mind and my conditioning is in the way. We talk about conditioning all the time on this channel. But for me, it's a challenge, because a lot of the things that I most respect have to be executed a certain way. And for me, crossing the threshold of comfort is what's the roadblock for me. It's like, yo, I prioritize comfort above everything else because I'm so very gone in that regard. I guess that's where my struggles actually are. It's overcoming the threshold of what I feel is safe and comfortable. So if I have to extend myself over that line in order to be unselfish, I often do not. But I'm not cognizant that that's not a good thing because I'm so very protecting. And I think of that as a good thing. So it's like that's the evil that a lot of people act in when they are unselfish. That's what the nature of corruption actually is. It's self-preservation and self-exhaustion, making yourself full while everybody else starves. It's the very thing I speak against on my channel. And so it's like, yo, if these are the energies inside myself, then I can be the first person to tell you I'm a struggling hypocrite. I'm a struggling hypocrite, and I'm fine with the notion that I've woken up realizing that there's work to do on my character. It ain't enough to say I have love in my heart. There is love in my heart, but there's also stuff I'm used to that don't make me a loving human being to people that I really truly want to be there for in loving ways. So will I disrespect them and say, I can be better, I will be better? No, what I'll say is, you got it right. You're looking at me the right way, and I'm working on that. And I don't know if I'm going to get it right. So as long as you feel the need to label me whatever it is you do, just know that I too am hard on myself, but am going to protect myself until I learn how best to protect myself better. This is how I know how to do it. So, you know, it was a situation where, once again, my boy Les called. You know, we've talked about this, so it makes sense to talk about it again. He hit me up and told me he needed to come over, and I told him my situation's still the same. The context of me would be understood by all of you guys who've watched all of these therapy sessions, because you know a lot of what it is, a detail of what's going on in my life. But the reality is, I don't think this has anything to do with anything other than the fact that I'm comfortable with my space being as it is, and I'm not ready to cross over that threshold, you know what I mean, to extend myself to somebody of whom I don't know if in 2023 I can trust them. I don't know if in 2023 that not some of the things that I may have seen in years past are things that will reemerge today, for which I don't want any part of. You know what I mean? And maybe things that I need to discuss in order to explain to people why I've changed so much are things that I just haven't been ready to talk about. And so it's like, I'm not really sure where I am, but I do know that I wake up not a better human being than I thought, you know, that I thought I was. I'm a worse person than I thought I was, everybody. That's what it really comes down to. Not to say that I don't love myself or believe myself to be a good person, but to say that I've woken up to realize that I'm still a long way from being the person I want to be at 39 years of age. So if you happen to be younger than me, or if you've happened to be held accountable by me in this camera, know that I too hold myself accountable for stuff that I am just now realizing that I'm not that great at. Things that I may have done and then may have left me being a worse human being than ultimately I ever would have dreamed, in the eyes of people that I never wanted to do that to. So that's what I'm here to say. I'm not better than you. I may not be happy with what you've done, whatever it is I held you accountable for. If you're a hedge fund manager and you're shorting AMC, whatever your evil is, if you messed up somebody's basketball team or something, I've held you accountable. But know too that I too hold myself accountable as I make mistakes in my own personal life and on this camera. So that, for me, gives me the credibility to hold whoever accountable, because I will never shy away from just how far away from being the best person in the world. You know what I mean? How far away from that I actually am. I am not Father Teresa. Even though I talk about the Lord and all this and that, I struggle. I struggle greatly. I don't know if it's okay for somebody who wants to suggest things to people, you know, that they feel could help the world, should have these concerns about their very own self. But I've seen so many times when people have the thoughts of leading others and don't hold themselves accountable at all. So maybe I'm too forthcoming with the weaknesses in myself. Maybe I'm too forthcoming with the truth about who it is I want to be versus who it is I found myself to be. But the only way I think I'm ever going to be the person that I hope to be is by being as transparent as I possibly can in the moment as I learn what it is that I ultimately am. And in the event I'm no longer, if I'm not able to overcome these things before that moment, at least you knew that in the moment when I was held accountable for it, I too saw in me what I should see when you see me in the way that you do if you held me accountable. I want to be better. I want to not be a hypocrite. And I find hypocrisy in myself, but not against the love that I ultimately have for the voice that I hold and the responsibility that it has. So as I go forward, I want to get better at first conditioning myself in little ways, baby steps, to be better, and then ultimately, hopefully, overcoming what needs to be overcome so that I can be the person I want to be. And if I fall short, then I'd have to fall on the sword to just know that I'm just not that great of a guy, and I want to be transparent about that. As I fall short and find myself choosing my own comfort over what it is that otherwise should be done. And that comfort betrays me so much because my last name means so much to me. Cowardice is not what I want attached to that. And sometimes people do things where they can't come back from that. I don't know that I've done anything like that as of yet. And so I pray right here and now that the Lord will govern my heart, my soul, whatever's inside of me that should not be out, whether it be conditioning of the mind that made me selfish from being the only child and in isolation, deep isolation as a kid, that ultimately grew me into a person that thinks of myself and isolates just the same. Maybe the gall of me to try to hold somebody else accountable when I don't have all this stuff together. I think I know what's going on outside of my house when I barely leave it. But nevertheless, the wisdom in me tells me to tell you what I see within me, so you can help you look inside of you and to do what it is that I did in this moment. Receive the harsh criticism so that you can at least be cognizant of how you come off to others so that you can make the changes necessary or not. Be as critical of someone else when you see those same characteristics in them, at least, at the very least, if you can't change what it is that you see in them within yourself, then let's give them a break about what it is when they can't change themselves. It gives me the smallness of my nature to say, yo, yeah, man, let me line up over here with y'all because I ain't that much better. But I want to be. And so that separates me from those who don't. Even if I fail at it, I'm not going to feel good about it. Even if I find myself choosing the wrong thing, I'm a damn sure be mad at myself the whole time. And when the karma comes, I'm going to sit there and take it. Because that's exactly what is going to have to be the case for every last one of us. But that can't be enough. You have to know why you should not do what you do. People shouldn't suffer you. They shouldn't suffer me. That we win these battles is important. Whatever those battles may be. In your own character. That you win them is important. If you would ever choose to hold anyone else accountable for changing themselves. Man, you too can't make that change. Even when you wake up and realize you're weak. Even when you wake up and realize you're a hypocrite. Even when you wake up and realize that you're not a leader. You still are responsible for making sure that your next move impacts people in a positive light if you ever want to be treated any kind of right. I just wish somebody would have told me that when I was impacting people the wrong way in whatever way I did. But I hope that I can weigh all of that crap against these words, if nothing else, that I leave enough of myself unselfishly here, enough transparency here, enough vulnerability here, so that those who've been closed off in my personal life, those who would like to know me better, who love me a lot, but haven't received this love from me as they define it, can get better from me for whatever's left of me. They can get better of me is essentially what I'm trying to articulate. And two, find the balance and not let people take advantage of me. Not let people tell me things about me that I can't agree with, or receive things about me that ultimately deteriorate my synopsis of myself and thus make it so that I can't grow. You just become a person sitting in the corner sad instead of somebody who's intent on working on these things that need to be worked on. That's where the prayer comes in. That's where the doing things right in other areas, being productive comes in, so you can be proud of yourself in these areas to help coach you into these other areas. But I still struggle, man. With all this wisdom I got in my mouth, I still didn't open my door to my old buddy there. And if something would have happened to him, it would have been partially my fault. And I have to burden myself with not only the fact that that could have happened, but because I left the door open for that to happen, the Lord may punish me as if it would happen, even if it didn't. And that's what we got to understand as well. The outcomes of circumstances is not what the Lord is going to govern you about. It's your intentions. The world is going to judge you by the impact of your actions. They don't know your secrets. God knows your secrets. He knows what you were thinking when you did what you did. Now, whether it went left or right, may have, may not. But the point is, you can't hide none of that from him. So that's why I come to you in confidence, because I know he knows the connection of my soul to him. And if the conditioning of my heart or my actions don't impact people the right way, at the end of the day, it's going to be him that says where I go for that. How much karma comes my way for that. How far in life I'm able to go, what doors get opened for me, which miracles can come my way, how my health goes, all these different things. It's going to be him who tells the story in regards to that, not the people who tell the story about me, nor me telling the story about myself, but more so his intentions upon my character in the life that he's given me. And so I tell you, I'm going to be a better person. But maybe I don't overcome some of the ways that would otherwise allow me to open the door to someone else like I should. Maybe I fail in that area forever. But I'm going to speak against things that I know should be spoken out against. I'm going to fight for people that I know I should fight for with the voice that's been given to me. And I'm going to continue to have intentions on meditating within myself to take those steps to become a better person. Whether I reach the top of that staircase or not, I am damn certain that the next step is worth taking. Growth. If for nothing else, for the sake of example, so that others can see that growth is possible, so that others can see that you can govern your own mind, so that others can see that you don't need nobody to help you understand that you got some things that you need to change about yourself. But if those somebodies happen to tell you that, you don't feel defensive. You don't let your ego absorb that information. You let the prayerful version of yourself that meditates receive that information. And then you take that meditation energy and you receive it in a way that allows you to move with it, so that you can incorporate that new information of how you could have been better into your new equation as you move forward. It's not something that my ego has to deflect against, because that wisdom is going to make me better. I don't have to tell her, no, I ain't do that. I don't remember doing that. No, I ain't do that. You alive. None of that is going to make me better. It's going to deteriorate that relationship and keep that honesty from coming my way, for which I can absorb and be better from. She told me I did this, and this. And guess what? Those actions are now in my mind, so that if ever again I'm faced with those scenarios, I will have the fork in the road instead of the matter-of-fact nature of what it is that I chose or should have been chosen. She gave me choices. She didn't disrespect me or belittle me. She helped me understand where I can represent me better. And we do too much deflecting when people try to hold us accountable. We don't realize that they're giving us gems that will help us survive in life a lot of the time. How to respect ourselves better when we look in the mirror. And I can tell you right now, I look in the mirror and I don't respect who I saw based on what it is she said, and based on what it is that I was not able to do for my friend. Not just that I wasn't able to, but that I just was not willing. In a time when I needed so much. I know why I am this way, and I'm not mad at myself for being this way, but that I continue to be this way, I can be mad at. It's time to make changes, man. And that doesn't mean extending myself in ways that I shouldn't. It means continuing to work in ways that ultimately allow me to receive myself better. It's meditation, it's working on my mental health, whatever help is available, and ultimately challenging myself in the moment, in any moment, to be a little more uncomfortable for the betterment of others. And maybe, just maybe, if that is the case, people talk about you better. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. Out.